Hey, LeBron versus Jordan. LeBron versus Jordan, man. Let's get into it, man.
Let's talk about it. When the last time you told somebody keep their head up cause you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about them. Going hard for the game, showing love, don't tolerate hate around it. Sticking to keeping it real, we never keep up with the scope. Wanna be more than do more than most. Wanna be more than do more than most.
This episode is brought to you by Lucilla's Cleaning Service, where your cleanliness is our business. Now, this company specializes in commercial and residential cleaning. So if you want a free quote, be sure to reach out to their website at www.lucillascleaningservice.com.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to Be More to Do More podcast, where we help you to become the person you need to become, to do the things you call to do. Your boy Tone outside. And we got,
what's up, man?
What's
Henry,
up, bro?
Alan Harton.
The what?
Third.
Don't forget the
3.
You already know, man. Hey, LeBron versus Jordan. LeBron versus Jordan, man. Let's get into it, man. Cause I hear you and bro.
Kurt. Yeah, Kurt. There you go again.
Y'all always get into it, and I side with Kurt because I'm a.
You an 80s baby?
I'm an 80s baby. You know what I mean? That's just kind of my thing. Like Jordan, he was the greatest, man. But yeah, man, this past I want to say this past weekend, but by the time you guys see this, it's probably weeks on out, but whatever.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, whatever. But LeBron said something that changed my entire perspective about him as a player. Now, I've always been a fan of him as a businessman and as a brand, but as a player, he really changed my perspective. And I just want to talk about that and just pretty much leadership styles.
Yeah.
That's cool?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But should I play the clip now?
Yeah, definitely play the clip.
All right, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so this is what he said this was the question, and this is how you responded.
Another example of that.
LeBron, by not shooting in the first quarter, was this another case of you just let the game come to you and let it build along the way?
Well, obviously, you see the way D'Lo started the game. I think he had our first 11, and then AD chipped in, I believe, 7 in that quarter. So it allowed me to, kind of focus on the glass. Also had a few assists in that first quarter. It wasn't how the game was playing, but that's just how the game was going. And for me, I'm never a force guy. I've always been a guy, let the game come to me and make my imprint when needed.
Boom. Changed my perspective.
Walk us through that, man.
I mean, because at the end of the day, man, we know Jordan and Kobe to be, they always on offense, but they always attack. Aggressive, forceful.
Mamba mentality.
Right, Mamba mentality, right? And to hear LeBron say that, it had me to think that, I was really comparing the wrong people, because LeBron leadership style and the way he plays is different. Like you said, that he's never really been a force type of guy.
Right.
Now we have seen him in moments,
right,
take the initiative, but he's never been like attack mode, straight out of, out the gate.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like my leadership style though. You know what I mean? Like kind of laid back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're S.
Yeah. Well, C and then the S.
Yeah.
If I can't figure it out, I'm gonna let it come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I play. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a really good conversation. I appreciate you bringing it up because this allows us to, something we talked about, I think, in JT and this a little bit, but we can be able to discuss it here a little bit more in detail.
Right.
Not experts on the subjects at all.
Definitely not.
But
definitely not.
But I've been around the game a little bit and been able to kind of see some things and it's just the disc assessment and that's the thing about you think about LeBron, you think about Jordan, Kobe, whoever you want to compare it to, right? LeBron versus MJ. I think depending on how. Again, when you were born,
right, but
also what style of leader that you prefer is how you would determine if LeBron or Jordan is better.
You just said something that really spark some thought here. He said, when you were born.
Yeah.
You know what? I never really thought about that.
Yeah, because you got to think about it, right? Like you saw, like, I didn't really see, I mean, I knew who Jordan was, but I didn't really get to see his greatness. I was only like 5.
Right.
When,
Right.
When he was, when he won the last championship, 96?
I think, was it 96 or 7? I think 96.
Something like that, right?
96, yeah.
But, so I didn't really, I knew who he was, but I didn't really, but like I saw all of LeBron, right?
Right.
It's the same thing where it's like, okay, who did they say that was the greatest before Jordan was?
Right.
Kareem.
Kareem. What caught my attention, you said at the time, but also in different generations and time space calls for a different type of leadership too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now, like, when you said that, I was like, dang, like, being that LeBron said that, I related more to what he said versus, just, watching Jordan, like, of course you're going to like Jordan because he was a beast.
Yeah, for sure.
But to hear LeBron say that, he kind of, like, I kind of connected with him on that level because I'm like, this is our class. I'm going to call it class when we say Malik. we call for a different type of leadership.
Yeah.
So that's the type of leader he is, you know? So, like, how can you compare the two?
Yeah, I mean, LeBron's leading a completely different, like, set of generations.
Yeah, right.
I mean, multiple generations, I mean, decades, right? I mean, he's been in the league 20 plus years, but like the guys that came into the league when he was, the guys that were in the league when he came into the league were a lot different and wanted different things. Kind of like what we talked about with Vo. Check that podcast out, by the way.
Yeah.
Or coming soon, whichever one. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But yeah, kind of like we were talking about with her was that different people require different things, and this new generation of people, they need someone that is quote unquote soft.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But you got he has soft skills.
Right.
So if we're looking at disc assessment, so I'm gonna break down the disc assessment really quick.
Yeah, let's go, because we always talk about this throughout the podcast, and I wonder if people be asking, like, what are you talking about? Or he'll see.
Right.
Or he'll ask.
Right.
Yeah. But,
so, all right, so disc assessment, right? So disc is actually an acronym. The D is for dominance, the I is for influence, the S is for steadiness, and the C is for compliance.
Okay.
There's different wording. People use different wordings for it, but it's the app that I use that that help me break down things for my team. So that's what they do, right?
Right.
So so that's disc, right? D is for dominance, I is for influence, S is for steadiness, and the C is for compliance, right?
Compliance. Okay.
3% of the world. So 3% of the world's population is actually dominant.
3%? Mm-hmm. Wow.
And the dominant trait is also known as a natural leader. Okay. The influence trait, 11% of the world makes up of this particular style. Okay. And influence is somebody who's like, oh, by the way, D is like dominance is somebody who's direct, right, results oriented. Competitive, just
like a Jordan or Kobe.
Yeah, like a Jordan or Kobe. That's their game. Right. Their game is gonna be attack. It's gonna be boom. Right. I don't care who's in my way. I'm gonna dunk on you. Whatever it is. Right. So I'm gonna be the best no matter what, because I'm gonna make it happen. Right. Influence. A person of influence is more so like you're a natural talker. Right. You're a enthusiastic. You're friendly. You're outgoing. Right. This is the life of the party. Okay. Right. That's not me. Go ahead. Right. What's so crazy though? It's so crazy because depending on what you do, so when I was in network marketing, right, I was mostly an I. Like I had a higher I because I had to be, you meet somebody in an elevator or at Walmart, right? You gotta talk to them, right? You gotta give them the product, give them a sample of the product, whatever it was, right? So it forced me to be more influenced. But that's not who I guess naturally was. I kind of had to grow myself into that. Right. But it's not your fallback. I mean, it's your natural state. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I was influenced in my personal life as well. So, And then you have the S for steadiness again. So this is important. The steadiness makes up of nearly 70% of the entire population.
Wow.
So almost everybody is
Steady.
Majority steadiness.
Okay.
Right? So steadiness is sincere, patient, modest, right? In my opinion, I think LeBron's more of a SI.
SI, okay.
In my opinion.
Right.
Because, or maybe a SD, because he's gonna, or I don't know, man.
He might have changed throughout. You know, his game. Because
Yeah.
I remember with Miami, he was a little bit more, because he played with Dwayne Wade, and he was more like, you know, let me let these guys.
Yeah, he was definitely S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, Dwayne was like, bro, you're the greatest player in the world.
Yeah.
You know, so.
You know, this is how I would say it too, right? Early on in career, so you ever seen these? There's a thing going around. It's like start, cut, bench, trade, and it's 4 different LeBrons. You seen that?
Nah, I haven't.
So it's like Cleveland LeBron when he first got drafted.
Oh.
Then it's Miami LeBron, and then it's when he went back to Cleveland, and then it's
Right.
like Laker LeBron.
Right. Okay.
And it's interesting to see the debates on which one they would start, which one they would cut, which one they would trade.
Okay.
It's interesting to look at it because like he was so different in each one of those areas, and that's why I think like early on in his career, right? I mean, he wore 23. He wanted to be Jordan. No question about it. Jordan was his idol, right? I think he was more D. And he demanded the game a little bit more.
Right.
And I think when he went to Miami, he became more S. Right, and he had to he was more, you know, like you said, he had the way he had Bosh, you know, he had people that was there that was, you know, that he could kind of fall back on, right? It was Wade's team technically, right?
Right.
But then he goes back to Cleveland, and I think that's when he kind of, in my opinion, right, I think he kind of was more C. And the C is for compliance. So you're more
Coaching, putting stuff together.
Yeah, like GM, right? That's what they call him, right? GM, right?
Right.
So you know, he's accurate, cautious, contemplative, right? He's kind of more strategic on how he's building his team or helping build the team. And you know, compliance. 17% of the people actually make up this population. Okay. Or 17% of the population make up compliance. And these are natural thinkers. And also steadiness is also a natural listener, by the way. Okay. So, so I think he was more C in his during his time at his second stint in Cleveland. Right. And I look at him now, right, and I think he's mostly an I in influence because he has a group of players that again are different than him, and you got AD who's, you know, is not as, you know, verbal, I guess, not that type of leader, or aggressive. So he has to be able to influence other people to be able to do things that they need to do. Right. Through relationships and, you know, through, I mean, he's in LA now. He ain't got to, you know, he ain't got to force nothing, you know. It's just different though. So, in my opinion, that's why I think he's more of an I right now in his career, and he's a D when he needs to be, and he'll take over the game if he has to.
But the question is, like, what is his natural state? Because he could be, like you say, you was an I in multi-level marketing. Yeah. But your natural state is dominant, right? Or C. Yeah, I'm compliant. Yeah, like that's your natural state. So, you know, I guess I'm asking, like, how do you make your natural state work best for you in any situation, or do you have to adapt like all these other states, or do you have to adapt to D? Yeah. Or the I or the S. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's you know, we talk about leading, because typically when you talk about a disc, right, you're dealing with people. Right.
Okay.
So you have to kind of. It depends on who you're talking to.
You spark something else. Okay.
I got a manager on my team. I can't call her and be like, hey, you got to do this right now, blah, blah, blah. Boom. I can't do that, right?
Right.
Because she's a D.
Right.
Ds don't respond well to
other Ds.
You know what I'm saying? Like they got to feel in control, right?
Right.
So,
right.
you know, it's a different conversation versus, you know, I got another person that's a I, right? So I got to make it fun when I talk to that person and make it like, this is what it's gonna do for your, you know what I'm saying? It's just
right.
It's just you gotta change up depending on who you're communicating to.
That makes sense. You got to be all things to all people, and I think that it brings me. I want to say the scripture of the day, but I feel like, you know.
Hit it, man. It's going to hit it.
I want to bring it to the scripture of the day.
It's on your heart.
Yeah, it's on my heart, man. Because it's right there. Everything you've been saying, it just relates back to Matthew 20:26. I know I mentioned be all things to all people. I got to look that scripture up. But until then, Matthew 20:26 says, but among you, it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant. So
yeah. Hey, but the word be
you know, you got to be a servant, but at the end of the day, I think Vo said this too. You got to know your peoples. Like you say, you got to know who respond well to a D. You got to know who respond well to an I. You have to know your people and then serve in that capacity. You know what I mean? So I think, like, even with LeBron, I like when people do this because I don't like it, but people tend to compare, right? They put this LeBron, that LeBron, or this LeBron, but it's all LeBron.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he got this experience. Yeah. And I think if you're not seeing the totality or the whole picture, he can operate to each capacity.
But like you said, like he was like in the interview, he was like, you know, D'Lo hit, I think 17 points or 11 points or whatever it was, and Anthony Davis, you know, hit 7. So, you know, I started, you know, he said I started getting on the boards, on the glass, which is rebounding, a different part of the game, but just as effective, right, as you know, assistant, just all those different things that he started doing. He didn't have to score.
Nah, he's just playing his role.
He's playing his role, man.
And when it calls for him to be dominant and be king, then he just do that. You know, I saw it. You know, but at the end of the day, Jordan's still fire. But you know, LeBron is kind of like, you know, just his thought process. Yeah. You know, and just to see, although I was born in the '80s. I'm starting to I see more of LeBron because like he's still like our generation. Yeah. So I'm hearing his thought process and how he play the game and able to see the board. That's what I admire the most, man. And he's able to play each role he needs to play, you know, based upon what he see on the board. And that's really strategic. So yeah, man, I admire that man for that.
Yeah, and I think too, man, you gotta look at it like this too, is like, again, majority of the world are are gonna go with the flow, not gonna challenge it too much. Just, you know, and if there's any danger, then they may switch up. But like, I think there's another assessment too that we or personality test.
Yeah, I got a question about this though, because you said something. You always say something that sparks something. You say majority of the world is a S. Like, do they talk about why?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because here's the thing. Like, maybe the majority of the world is S because they are drifters. Are they drifting?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We're talking about leadership, you know. If you are an intentional person, then you know how to use, you know, your disc assessment. But if you're drifting, of course you just gonna
you're gonna go with the flow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
No, I agree, right? I agree. So like, so knowing that that the majority of the world is S's, knowing that people are gonna kind of tend to just, you know, be a natural listener, right, and be more patient, and they're gonna be modest, right. Your communication styles with anybody, play it safe. When you first meeting somebody, you should not be super, in my opinion, and this is, I'm an amateur on it, like I'm not like this expert disc person, but in my opinion, like you should lean more into the S when you're talking to people for the first time, because think about it, right? If you go in being a D and you're talking about all the great things that you did, or things you can do for this person, all that stuff, right? Depending on who it is, I'm turning off. Right.
Yeah.
Or they may be compared like I'm better than that guy, you know, whatever, right? Or right? You come up with this high energy,
right?
And what's wrong with them?
Right.
Like, why they so happy?
Right.
You know, or why they so, you know.
Right.
Right. Or even the C, right? You come in too quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, you standoffish. Oh, you make a little money now, so you brand new. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So the S is like the perfect, like, watch, just kind of introduce. Hey, my name is. Well, introduce yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Moderately.
Right.
Or modestly.
So the listening piece. Well, I guess they're not drifting if they're listening. You know what I mean? But yeah, that makes sense. But being that you say 70% of the people is S, that means, strategically thinking when I meet somebody, 70% chance they're an S.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just play it. Okay.
Just play it safe.
Makes sense. But we was going into the other one.
Yes.
Yeah. So Clifton.
Yeah. What's so crazy? Like, so you put me onto this without I didn't even realize that you had already took this, and we talking about it in another podcast.
Right.
And it was like, I was like, it just hit me. I was like, dang. He told me about this. Was about probably a year ago.
Probably. I took this back in 2018, so it probably was a year ago. But yeah, man, the Gallup Clifton, what is it, Clifton? Strength Fighters. Yeah, they got a book too, man.
Do they?
But I wasn't introduced by the book. I know a lot of people was introduced by the book, and what it is it pretty much shows you your strengths. You take, I think, how many questions is it? Like
177, I believe.
Yeah, a lot. Yes, a lot of questions, and it break down pretty much what you are as far as your strength, or what's your home base as far as your strength. I'm gonna read this quick reporting thing here. It says it's an in-depth analysis and unique descriptions of your top 5 strengths. So when you take these questions, or you do the questionnaire, they're gonna give you top 5. You can pay for more, but they're gonna give you top 5, and pretty much out of the 5, they got different categories that the 5 are attached to, or something like that. I don't have it pulled up here, but I know one is strategic thinking, relationship building, influencing, like the disc, and executing. I'm pretty sure the dominance will be in the execute, man. So these are another thing, another tool that you can kind of, chime in on and take or whatever. So, yeah. Do you got how many, or all of the?
Yeah, there's 34.
Oh man.
There's 34 total. So, so luckily, I so happen just to work with a company that has that paid for it, so I get the benefit of it, the whole thing. But so here's my top 5 though. Restorative, so which means I find a gap and I fix it. Okay. Right. Belief, so I have a high level of belief, which again, which is why we had this podcast, right? Like I have a strong foundational. Like I want to, I know that the principles in the Bible can help somebody, right? So I gotta. Right. I believe in people. Right. Long story short, too, right? So I want to be able to help, right? Analytical is number 3. Okay. Individualization is number 4. Okay. So individualization is more so just, I believe that everybody's unique and has a unique thing about them that can help bring the organization forward. Okay. And also 5 is relator, right? Which is, again, the culture exec. Oh, right. Makes sense. Yeah, I want to be relatable to bring somebody, again, bring somebody up and meet them on their level. Right. It's super important to me. So, but I'm an executor. Like that's my number one thing is executing. I lead with executing. So yeah, we know that. I make things happen. Right?
I mean, for all you doobies out there that know him, man, he always talking about being intentional, making it happen. Yeah, man, and a coach as well. Shout out to Scow.
But here's what I don't do well at, right? So out of the 34, this is number 33.
What's that?
Empathy.
Ooh.
I'm not very empathetic because I'm an executor. Right. So I'm not very empathetic. So I have to. So and I'm gonna tell you why. Let me tell you why this stuff is so important, though. Right. It's like to know, like, and I'm telling you, like, you got to use you got to use like all these together, in my opinion. Like you got to use all these together because, again, like me knowing that that I'm not as empathetic, I can communicate that to someone that I'm coaching or someone that I'm teaching. You know, and so in them understanding that, hey, I'm not telling you this because I don't care about what you're going through, because I really do. But I don't believe what you're going through is an excuse for you not to perform.
That sounds about right.
So, and I have to tell them that though, is because knowing that my empathy level is low, my message sometimes doesn't come across the way that, you know, and depending on, again, if they're a D or they're an I or they're an S, whatever they are, I have to say that in a way that
they can kind of understand it. That's the best part of being self-aware, though. You know, you kind of know how to communicate yourself to people. You know, something that Vo said. She said something key. Maybe I think both of you guys said that. But you have to know the people you work with, or even the people that you come across. You just mentioned, like, kind of play it safe, but play it safe to understand and learn a person when you first meet them. So, knowing a person and knowing how to communicate yourself as well as your, I don't want to say weakness, but it's just not your number one thing. But you know how to communicate that to a person that you've gotten to learn. So that's key, man. That's good, man. Self-awareness is key, man. Self-awareness is key. I want to go into mine, though.
So you always talk about self-awareness. So walk me through why it's so important on, like, especially like as leaders, being self-aware, like in kind of relation to this topic. Why is it so important?
Well, for me, I'm able to strategize better. If I know where I'm at and what state I'm in, I'm able to strategize. Like, if I know that, right now my thinking is not clear, not today, then I can lean on either you, give you a call, hey bro, or, if I know that you're strong in this area, I can lean on you for that. So it's kind of like a independence, and independence makes interdependence type thing. You know what I mean? Not how to win friends, but 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. They talk about that. But self-awareness is definitely key, because I need to know how I come across, to people and understand, just pretty much relate and just kind of know how to communicate myself to people, in a way that will be beneficial for them too. So yeah, and it's good for your mental. You just got to know where you are. Like, you just have to know where you are at all times, and God, when He deals with me, it's all about self-awareness. He asks me certain questions that will bring me back to myself. It's like, good question, like, and now I get to write in my journal, oh man, I was feeling this way because of this, and it came from this source. You know what I mean? So now, how can I reverse engineer that and make this source work for me? So that's why it's really important for me, because I know how to strategize and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I like that a lot. I love that, actually, because, like, if you're not self-aware, you won't even think that you need to apply any of this.
Yeah, no, I don't need none of that.
What do I, just, they're gonna do what I tell them to do, or they, whatever, like, and even again, even the people that don't necessarily work with a bunch of people, maybe you still got to interact with your boss. Your boss is still a person. So, like, so you got to understand what their style is as well. And,
that's true.
I mean, if you watch this podcast, you're a doobie. You're trying to get to your next level, right? And it may be a customer. Right. It may be, you may need to acquire more customers. So, and that that's a whole nother thing too, because depending on what position you're in, you may need to lean more on or become better at one of these different strengths or different personality types. Because
that's true.
If I'm in sales, And when I got to go door to door, if I got to go out and and meet people and like sell them on something,
Right.
I'm gonna be a lot more I
Right. Yeah.
than I am, D or whatever, right? Because I want people to feel energetic, like feel my energy. I want people to feel,
Makes sense.
or if I'm in, I don't know, let's say engineering or something,
Right.
I might be a little bit more C.
I got some even more. If you're an entrepreneur, you're gonna first start off freelancing, right? Like me, in media. You're gonna carry the camera, you're gonna do the marketing, you're gonna do the shooting, you're gonna do the cinematography, you're gonna do the lighting, you're gonna go out and talk to the people. You're gonna,
One-man show.
Yeah, but if I don't have that self-awareness, then I won't know which area I need to hire out so I can scale my business and just work basically like practically on my strengths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can do it all, but am I good at it all?
Right.
You know what I mean? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
So I need to know, like, I know what's even with this business, like I know certain things that I don't want to do, but I know that, when we begin to grow, I know who I'm going to hire, because I know it's going to make us this much better, because I know myself, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know what I don't want to do, don't even care to even study, So now I know how to hire out, and even contract out. So that's why it's really important to know or be self-aware, know your strengths, use some of these tools to kind of get to know who you are as a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you should, and that's the thing, too, like, I'm a big believer in this, too, man. It's like, whenever you get to a point where, okay, you can afford to do something different, you should focus on those things that you are not, or either are going to give you a lot of your time back in entrepreneurship, or that you just hate to do.
Right.
Because if you pay somebody that love to do it, they're gonna take that thing to the next level.
To the next level. Man, but I wanna share mine, man.
Yeah, what you got?
Hey, did I share my disc? Did we share our disc?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I think I'm a C and a S.
Walk us through that. Walk us through your CS.
Man, I want to, but I was looking for the
what you need? What you need?
Oh yeah, the C and the S. Well, I mean, I can.
Well, just who you are. Who you like?
Yeah. So the C. What is the C again?
C is compliance. So all right. Oh, let me go through some stuff too. Let me hit on. Okay, let's start with a D. So just some things, general characteristics about a D.
Right.
Direct, decisive, high ego, problem solver, risk taker, self-starter, independent, loves challenges, capable, competitive, driven, results-oriented, far-sighted.
Okay.
You're not a D, but you relate to a lot of those things, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing about the DISC assessment too, is like you're never gonna be one thing all the way around, right? So even if you're primarily a D, there's some of these things that are not gonna be you.
Right.
Like, that's not who I am, right?
Right.
So I is enthusiastic, trusting, optimistic, persuasive, talkative, impulsive, emotional, energetic, positive, excellent team player, outgoing, storyteller, inspiring, friendly.
Oh, okay. I don't think I'm an IU because I don't think I'm optimistic, bro. I came to grips with myself, man. You know how people be like, think positive. Now, I mean, when we talk about positive, I know that all things work together for good for those who love the Lord. I know that. I live on that. I stand on that. But I'm not the type of person that see the glass half full. It's always half empty to me.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I know I'm not I can't say I'm optimistic.
No, I'm super optimistic. I think everything will work out.
Really? No, I'm not saying it won't.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, yo, this glass needs some more water in it. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a restorative.
Yeah.
That's a restorative trait.
Right.
You're not gonna let yourself get too comfortable. You're gonna see something. All right, we need to do something about it.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that's necessarily pessimistic, but I get what you're saying, though.
Right. Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Gotcha.
But I think it's more the restorative trait than.
But if I relate that to somebody, they're gonna see, you know, they're gonna be like, yo, ain't nothing
ain't
good
nothing
enough for you. Like, God, like, you
Story
know,
of my life.
yeah. So I had to think, like, am I a negative person? Gosh. Anyway, go ahead, bro.
S, right? So the S is general characteristics of an S. Good listener, team player, possessive, steady, predictable, understanding, friendly, likable, never challenges, includes all, honest, introvert, peacemaker. So
that's me. Definitely.
That's you?
Well, there's a part. You said predictable.
Predictable.
There's a part of me that won't allow me to be predictable.
Which part is that?
Well, I gotta go to my. Nah, I gotta go to my strength finder. That part won't let me be predictable because you know. But yeah, I'm a risk taker, and I'm always generating ideas. So, yeah. I mean, I guess in a day-to-day, I can be predictable, but when it comes to like business or doing something like, you know, I want to try stuff. Yeah, so.
Makes sense. So, because you're a CS, right?
Yeah, CS.
Okay. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go through the C, and then we're gonna go through the whole C.
Okay.
And they probably gonna hate me because like, dang, why you didn't go through the whole DIS? It'd be all right. Y'all just put in the comments if you want me to go through. We'll figure it out.
Is there a link?
I don't know.
Okay.
They can Google it.
Oh, Google.
just Google it. Or put it in your app store, disc assessment. It'll pop right up.
Yeah.
All right. Compliant, right? Or correct. Is the C.
Right.
Know it all.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm a bit of a know-it-all. I mean, you know, but I'm a curious individual. So if I'm curious, I have to learn it. You know. But anyway, go ahead.
It's a super interesting because your restorative, like I'm telling you, your restorative trait with your C, you being a C. It does come off like you're a control freak or that like, you know, nothing ever good, but it just, and then, all right, so before I go into this, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Story time, right?
Okay.
I don't know if it's necessarily a story, but like, oh yeah, it is. I give you a story. So we probably have one of the better customer service scores in, you know, our region or group or whatever, right? Okay. But but last week, you know, I called this emergency customer service call. Right. And it was talking about a few different things that we got to improve on, right? And because here's what happened. Here's what happened too. Like, cause I don't know if this is part of the C or whatever, but like we got called out on the call.
Oh man. For
you know some things from service related that we missed on, and it was overwhelming evidence that we ain't been following our plans, right?
Wow.
We got a super talented team. We got probably the best team in the company, in my opinion, right? And that talent kind of makes up for a lot. And that's the thing. Like, don't get so caught up in it, right? Don't get so caught up in the talent because it could be, you know, it could be detrimental to your future when you get caught up in your talent. But anyway, I called this call to talk about these things. And I told him, I was like, don't get it twisted. You guys are good. You guys are rock stars, but you're not great. You're not amazing. You're not excellent.
That's Michael Jordan,
right? And that could come off as like whatever you want to call it, but that's just my personality type.
Right. Ambition.
I don't know if it's ambition. It's I care more about the process than I care about the result. Because I'm a C. Okay. I'm a C as well.
Oh, okay.
So because if we don't follow the right processes to get to the number, like, you know, you're going to show your work, right? Like, if we don't follow the right process to get to the score, man, I don't care about it.
So, okay. Oh, so you were saying that your concern wasn't the results at all, but that y'all kind of fell slack on the process.
The processes that weren't right. Because this is what I understand.
Right.
Bigger picture, right?
Right.
If we can't have great processes now, when we have excellent people, what happens when all these excellent people get promoted?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And now I got maybe a team of not as excellent. They got to get there. Maybe it's just experience level. It could be a variety of different things.
Right.
But they don't have a strong foundation of processes.
True.
We're going to get exposed.
Right, yeah.
And I ain't finna get exposed. That's my
true.
D.
That's true.
it ain't finna happen, right?
That's true.
So that's what, like, C's care more about the process
Right.
than they do about the result.
That's true, which is why I took Six Sigma, process improvement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's run through it.
Cool.
General characteristics of a C: accurate, analytical, conscientious, careful, fact finder, precise, detailed, disciplined, high standards, systematic, organized, plans well, puts things on paper, cautious.
Yeah.
This is the value that you bring to the team because you're a C.
Right. Yeah.
You're thorough, you define situations, you gather the information, right? And you criticize and test information.
Oh yeah.
Somebody say something that ain't.
Bro, I hate that. One thing I can't stand, bro, is for somebody to say something and just talk like they know what they're saying and ain't got no foundation. Like you just thought about this, right? Okay, no research. You just gonna think about it and just say it. Is it true?
Right.
Like, anyway, yeah, that irks me, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like even my wife, I'm like, you saying, you know, are you assuming it, or is it cold outside? You know, did you look at the Weather Channel, or you just know it's cold?
Yeah, it drive my wife crazy too.
Yeah.
Like, how you know that? How you know?
Right.
How you know? Like, she ain't got no good answer for it. I ain't rocking with it.
Right.
I mean, it just is what it is, right?
Right.
Possible weaknesses.
Okay.
Let's talk about the weaknesses.
Let's talk about it.
Needs clear-cut boundaries for actions.
Definitely.
Bound by procedures and methods. Gets bogged down in details. That's one thing I like. If I can't figure out how it's gonna work, I just be like, bump it.
Well, that's when my S fall into place.
Yeah. You just go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go with the flow. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't know if it's my deal. I just I look at something, I can't figure out how to do it. Obviously, if it's something important, I'll probably call somebody. But
Right.
if it's too difficult, like, and I don't need to do it, moving on.
Right.
Forget it. I guess it's my deal. Like, I'm just, hey, what it is. We'll live
if
without
I can't do it, it can't get done.
Prefers not to verbalize feelings.
Yeah, that's true.
Will give in rather than argue. Ooh, that's your S, huh? That kind of goes into your.
Do I give it?
Do you give in?
It depends. It depends on the argument. Is it based upon facts? Are we talking about facts? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if we just arguing, it ain't got no meaning.
Okay.
Whatever.
Indecisive, not flexible, complains.
Indecisive, definitely. So if I can't, like I said, if I can't figure it out, I just let it go. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But I do get caught up with, should I do this? But if I do this, pros and cons of this. If I do this, pros and cons.
See, that's what I'm saying. You see the whole field, man.
Yeah. So I'm like, but it takes me a little longer to make a decision. I also heard that to be a great CEO, you got to make decisions off the cuff, you know, and go.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I heard a successful CEO say. So I don't know. Maybe that's their style.
But that's their style.
Right.
That's their style.
Right.
And I don't think. Oh, this is another thing. So the person from Gallup actually came and spoke to us.
Word.
Yeah,
I had the whole shebang. Here I am paying for stuff.
It's legit.
Go
ahead. And she put up a thing, and she was like, "Which one of these people do you feel like is a CEO?" I don't know if I'm giving her whole spiel away, but I don't even know who she is. I don't remember her name, so hopefully, don't at me. Don't at me. But she put this whole thing up. And she was like, which one of these are the CEO?
Right.
And everybody looked at it and they were like, oh, it's that one, it's that person, it's that person. And And it turns out all 4 people were CEOs.
Wow.
And the one that everybody agreed with the least was our CEO. So it's interesting, right? It's
Right.
interesting, right?
Yeah.
But but everybody loves her.
Right.
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 So,
right.
it's just like that's why I say like it don't necessarily. I don't agree with that because like I feel like you do have to think about things from both sides before you make a decision.
Do you think that's the problem with the whole? See, I'm always finding problems. I'm gonna say it. Self-help industry. And
Yo, you got to beef with the self-help industry. What's
I don't know, man.
Walk me through this.
Nah, man. Because look, bro. Like, I mean, because they don't mention God much. That's for one. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it might be atheists. A lot of them out there.
I know, man.
Just,
But but you see it on social media too, though. Like, you gotta do this. You gotta put in the work. You gotta, you know what I mean? Like. And some of that stuff, like
somebody done pissed you off,
bro. Like because here it is. I mean, okay, they're talking to their audience, so they may be dominants talking to a bunch of dominants.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, if you're an S, if you're a C, and you hear this, don't try to go out and be a dominant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you have to, if you have to serve in that area. But don't try to be something you're not. That's why it's so important to be self-aware, to know your strengths, know who you are. That way you can play chess with it. You know how to maneuver.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we all think everything is so linear, just flat line, one way. But we got different styles, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
But I am pissed off a little bit. But go ahead. Yeah.
Here's your greatest fear.
Go ahead. Being wrong.
Criticism. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. And that's why I procrastinate. Do I procrastinate? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah.
And this is how I know I'm a C too. Cause like again, story time, right? I remember I had this kid. I don't know if I told this story or not. When I was a kid, about school. No. Okay. So. When I was a kid, I don't know why I was like this, but like I would want to be the first to information, or like I think I'm still that way a little bit, like especially like technology. If some new technology came out, like I wanted to be like the first to try it out, or first to test it out, or whatever. But and I don't know why I did this, but it was a kid that got in trouble at school one day, and I don't know why I ran out. And I saw their parents and I was like, hey, so-and-so got in trouble today. I don't know why I did it. It's just weird, right? It's just weird. Now I'm telling the story. I'm like, why are you even telling this story? But anyway,
interesting.
And I remember my teacher came to me and she like scolded me for that. Like she was like, why would you do that? Don't you ever do that again? Blah, blah, blah. Criticism.
Right.
And like from that day, and that's just the first memory that I have from like me kind of speaking out of turn, or like me kind of, doing something that's like, that I probably shouldn't do, or say something that like, that whatever.
Right.
So it kind of guarded me to like, okay, I'm gonna be slow to speak, or I'm gonna be, careful about what I say.
Makes sense. Well, I mean, with me is scripture, like when I'm reading scripture, like I have to be sure to read it. First of all, I'm not good at reading comprehension. So I have to read stuff like multiple times, but I want to be sure that when I do speak about a scripture, I don't take it out of context.
You are super important. That's super important to you.
Yeah.
Super important to you.
I'm like, man, I don't want to take this out of context, because one of my worst fear would be somebody to tell me I'm wrong and you sending people to hell. As inaccurate as I know that is. Right. But I don't want to be the guy that's sending everybody to hell. You know what I mean? Like just out here, just going in and speaking about scriptures out of place and stuff like that. Man. But
here's the things that somebody, if they're managing you or if they're working with you, this is what they should do with you. Be clear, black and white, provide evidence and facts, list benefits. Here's something that they should not do with you. Some things they should not do with you. Be general, assume, or embarrass you.
Oh man, what? Never mind. I ain't even gonna talk about that. But go ahead.
And there's a whole bunch of other stuff in here too. But I'm gonna hit on, like, let's say, I'm gonna hit on the verbal. So words, fact and task oriented, limited feelings. Like, so if I'm having a conversation with you,
right,
I need to be fact and task oriented. So like, hey, here's the facts. This is what I need you to do.
Right.
Limited feeling sharing. Right. So, you know, take my emotions out of it, how I feel about it.
True.
Hey, this is what it is.
Right.
This is what I need you to do. This is why I need you to do it. Not because I want you to do it or I need you to do it because I feel a way about it. This is, you know, facts of
that
it,
is
right?
so true. Because even like when people are, you know, leading me, I do want to know, like, are you telling me this because you think or you feel like I should do this?
Right.
Or is it really bringing results?
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Is it your preference or is it, you know, is it proof in the pudding?
Yeah, preference. I like that because maybe the way you telling me to do it may not be the best result for me, or you know, it may not be. I might not get the best result from it.
Yep.
Let me figure it out.
Yep.
But yeah, go ahead.
More formal and proper. So you prefer to have it in an email versus a text, or you know, in you know, sit me down versus just kind of yelling it out, I guess.
Yeah.
Focused conversation, so you don't want things to be all over the place. You want somebody to have a detailed list of, hey, here's what we're gonna talk about.
Right.
You know, and let's stick to that.
Right.
Focused conversation. Vocal tone.
That's important.
So little inflection, so you want people to talk with you a little inflection. You don't want somebody that's just all over the place, right? Or you just actually make how you be. I'm not sure 100% if you're this way or how you prefer. Maybe it's both.
Yeah, I think I prefer. And that's how I am. Yeah.
Few pitch variation, less variety in vocal quality.
That's me too.
Steady monotone delivery.
I think I do that in the speaking.
Low volume.
Go ahead.
Slow speech.
Yeah, that's me all the way. That's how I speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting though, man.
Did you read yours?
I'm gonna see.
Oh, okay. What about the last one? What, the D? You didn't read the D?
I didn't go through the whole D, no.
Okay.
But I will go through the whole D.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a lot of. I think D's are probably like the people that frustrate. I think D's are people that probably frustrate everybody else around them the most, in my opinion. Like, because you're not gonna really get frustrated with an S. Like, as many people is not gonna get frustrated with an S.
Right.
Or they're not gonna get frustrated with it. They might get frustrated with a C because they're slow. But a D though, D gonna be in your face, and like, you know what I'm saying? So they gonna be.
Are the D's coming with the facts?
D, it's a little bit.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. Let's go through the D. So we already went through the general characteristics of a D. This is the value that a D brings to the team. So my second is D.
Okay.
I was like almost tied with the C and the D.
Oh.
So, but my C was you know, like a point or two higher.
Okay. Well, at least you coming with the facts. But anyway.
Yeah, you know, that's it, man. That's it. So this is the value that I bring to the team. So, so this is important to know too. So I'm naturally a C. I want to be very calculated because I don't want criticism, right?
Right.
But because I hate criticism so much, if I'm going to get criticized, it's going to be because of me.
Because you're, okay.
So I'm going to take control of the situation.
Right. Right.
So
I see how that works there. Yeah.
So this is the value, and when I'm in my D, this is the value that I bring to the team.
Okay.
Bottom line organizer, right? I care about the bottom line. What is it gonna make money or is it not? Right? You know, what Drake say, I guess you win some to lose some,
right.
As long as the outcome is income.
Yep.
Like, that's all I care about, right? Is this gonna make money or not, right? Or is it, or even if it ain't even gotta be about money, like, is it gonna be beneficial or is it not?
Right.
Place high value on time. I definitely don't like my time being wasted.
I mean, neither. Wait, is that a part of C?
It's a D.
Dang,
it's a D.
Go ahead.
Challenge the status quo. Yeah, I'm sure they hate me. Cause I'm gonna look at it, and then my C, cause I'm black, you know.
That's what, okay. Go ahead.
Innovative.
Okay.
Innovative. So I'm always looking for ways to like right now again. I'm trying to figure out a way to implement the Clifton strengths with the disc assessment and duplicate it across my entire organization of like 40 people, right? So that's where like I'm trying to figure out what. So innovators, nobody else is doing that,
right?
Nobody else is doing it. So how can I get an extra edge on everybody, right?
Right.
No, I probably shouldn't have said it on camera. They're gonna probably start doing it now, but it'll be all right. Y'all be all right. Still can't, you can't match me.
Right.
Competitive. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk. Yeah. Possible weaknesses.
Okay.
Overstep authority. I've definitely been known to, do something without getting approval for it first.
Okay.
And it come back to bite me in the butt. Criticism, right? But sometimes, again, it's about the bottom line. So
you was betting on you though.
Yeah, betting on me, and I know what my people need. So I'm gonna just do it.
Right.
Right.
Makes sense. Okay.
And argumentative. Dislike routine. Attempts too much at once. Impatient. Arrogant. Weak team player. So a strong D is a weak team player.
Okay.
A strong D.
Okay.
Because they don't care about nobody else's feelings about how they feel about Nah, I ain't gonna say that.
Michael Jordan?
Nah, I ain't gonna say Mike. But yeah, Michael Jordan is a good one.
Yeah, Kobe.
Kobe was a D. He ain't gonna care about soft. You ever seen that little soft, right?
Right.
That's, greatest fear for a D, being taken advantage of.
Oh, is that why they dominant?
Yeah, I probably so.
Okay, cool.
I would say so.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I think I got that fear too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're talking about a D, even though that's not nothing in my,
well, you're probably some D. That's the thing. You're not all C. You're not all S.
Oh.
You probably have on some of the questions you probably have maybe you might have 10 C, but you may have 2 D. That might be your 2.
But because it's 3 of the D's that I don't agree with, which is the team, the arrogant, and the it was one more you said, but okay.
Yeah. By the way, again, this is my amateur opinion. This is just something observation. I'm not.
But you've been doing your research
like this,
Yeah, we're researchers.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
I ain't with no class. I'm just trying to. I ain't with no,
information.
So,
that's it.
Just my perspective on it.
Yeah, we didn't write the stuff.
Right. These are things that you should do with a D. Discover things. Focus on business and not on personal. Okay. Argue based on facts. So when you ask that question, they are fact.
Okay. Good.
But it comes off. They can get butt hurt, right? Because they don't want to be taken advantage of. So
makes sense.
It's just they can get their feelings hurt.
Right. Okay.
This is what you don't do with a D.
What you ain't gonna do
is dictate.
Oh nah.
Be long-winded.
Yeah.
Rigid.
Right.
Tell me what I need to know. Tell me it quickly. And don't be super aggressive about it.
Right.
Because I don't like that, because I'm the aggressive one. Right?
Right.
I mean, that's not me. I'm more, I don't really.
Assertive.
Yeah, I don't really get too bent out. But a high D, they will, they feel some type of way about it. I remember one time, story time. I remember one time, man, it was when I was a branch manager, and my area manager had came in moving stuff around, whatever, right? And I had made a decision about something. I can't remember what it was, but I made a decision about it. And my area manager came back around and did the exact opposite. And that pissed me off so bad. And I had to tell him by himself. Because don't come in my operation.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? It just, that's how I felt, you know? And, we were good after that. But, I just had to get it out.
Respect.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't got no choice, right? Yeah. I mean, this is what it is, right?
Right.
But, so it's okay, that's something, as leaders, man, again, even if you're not a D, right, it's okay to challenge, the authorities, or it's how you do it, right? Right. And it's important on, the method that you use, and that's why we're having this conversation.
Now that you say that, Because I was like, yeah, but I got in trouble. But now that I think about it, I probably did it in an a-hole way. It wasn't the dominant way, but it was more the C way.
Yeah.
So, like,
snarky?
Well, yeah, when you're giving facts and information because you've done your research, it can make people feel a little small. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. I apologize. You know who you are. You're my old manager, I apologize. You know.
Man, you so funny, man. Where we at? All right. Skip a couple of these. So words, right? Verbal. Tell more than ask, right? A D is gonna tell you more than they're gonna ask you.
I hate that though.
Talks more than listens. Lots of verbal communication. They ain't gonna send no email. They ain't gonna send you no text. They're gonna get on the phone. They're gonna call you.
Right.
And they're gonna get in your. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's and quick. Like they don't want to long with. Be quick. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it. We're gonna keep it moving, right?
Man.
It's interesting. Blunt and to the point, right? So that's you know, cool. Those are words, right? Tone, right? Vocal, voice tone. More energy. They're gonna be more energy. They're gonna be have a more forceful tone.
Right.
Communicates readily. High volume. Faster speech. Challenging voice. I don't know what that word is. Intonation. I ain't never heard of intonation.
Well, we're gonna look it up, but later.
You know, yeah. We'll figure it out. But yeah, they're gonna be a super high, and like you're gonna know in a room.
Right.
They ain't gonna tiptoe in the room.
Makes sense.
You know, so
right.
I guess like, you know, and to sum all this up, right, it just, and we talk about this since we talked about Clifton strengths, you know, this is the episode, you know, I wanna go ahead and wrap it up with the lyric of the day, or lyric of the week.
What we got?
Lyric of the week comes from Webby. I like Webby, man. I know Savage Life, man. You know, I like Webby.
Little Webby, all right, Webby.
Webby says, EVZUs are dickies, 22s are sixes. They both hot, but which one is the sickest? Ooh. And when you take the argument of Kobe, I'm not sorry, well, you can include Kobe into that too, but LeBron versus Jordan, it really boils down to preference.
Preference, that's all.
And depending on who you are and how you view things, what's important to you, because here's the facts, right? Like, Jordan had a dominant championship, you know, he won 3 back-to-back, right?
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
So he won 6 championships, and he was dominant during that time. But LeBron, and Jordan's a winner. He's gonna take over the game, that whole thing too, right? But LeBron, when you look at the game overall, right, bottom line,
right,
he's gonna have better stats.
True.
Across a longer time frame.
True.
You know, he's gonna be more well-rounded, and you can look at the outside things too, right? I mean, just all the family, business, just the impact that he's had in the community, just all those different things as well.
Right.
But if that's not important to you, you can care less about what LeBron did.
Well, see, going back to Matt 2026, they both served their generations well, man. You know, the generation that Michael was in called for Michael Jordan.
Yep.
He showed up. This generation called for LeBron. He's showing up.
Yeah. So again, leaders, doobies, all my doobies out there. All my doobies out there. Just understand that, like, you may not lead like your manager leads.
Right.
Or you may not, you know, lead like somebody you admire leads.
True.
You got to figure out what works for you, and it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, but you got to figure out how it's going to work for your advantage, or who you are, and how it's going to work for your advantage, and learn your people, be able to really tell them exactly what they need in the way that they desire to know it, and it's going to work out for you.
I agree. I agree, man.
That's all I got.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, y'all be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell, man. Quit playing, hit that bell, man. Let's get this information out of here, man. Here it is. We're breaking down disc assessments. We're breaking down Clifton strength finders, man.
Hey, I'm a challenge, because if you're watching this at the end, right, I'm gonna put a challenge out there, man. Put a comment in. Put a comment on, like, what was the best part about this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know. I want to hear from, like don't call me on my phone. You know, don't send me an email. Like, put it in the comment section on what was impactful and then share it with somebody else that you feel like would benefit from it as well.
Do all that. And hit the bell.
And hit the bell.
Last time you told somebody to keep their head up, cause you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy, we don't play about them. Going hard for the game, showing love, on tolerate.